I'm at the Fashion for Good Museum in Amsterdam, where we are going to have another conversation about the exhibition Knowing Cotton Otherwise. This time we're talking about the second chapter called Bodies of Work with stylist Tricia Nganga Mokosi, who created 4 performative looks, all by the use of secondhand and found cotton materials. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good, actually. I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like, the stressful period is over. So I'm just enjoying right now and reflecting back on the process while I was making the 4 outfits.
Before we really get into the 4 outfits, I think it would be nice to start with you introducing yourself a little bit. Can you tell me what you do, who you are?
I do many things. I keep myself busy, but mostly it's like styling work. I love art direction. I love directing my own editorials, being also the model in that. I'm also a model, a designer also. And I love reworking and, upscaling secondhand pieces. Yeah.
And where does your fascination come from? Like when did you start? How did you find your way into this field of clothing and styling?
It actually started quite young. I think from like an age of like 6, 7, I was already like trying on different outfits. Like, I was living at my mom's still at that time, and she already had like amazing pieces. So seeing her in those, I was already like, oh my God, that's what I want. And I was obsessed with Bratz and Barbie. And from a young age, I already had like platform shoes, already like crop tops and skirts. Not even thinking how like inappropriate it is to wear things like that at that age. It was more like, I want to be like a Bratz doll. So it started like quite young, and then I went to my foster parents at 10, and they had like a whole suitcases of like costumes. So over there I was like just playing around with costumes and different characters. So yeah, it started there, and then it grew into styling my own shoots, and then people seeing that and asking me like, okay, do the same for me. And in styling, I also found it amazing to make pieces for the shoots. So everything went quite organically.
And everything seems interconnected.
Exactly.
And then now looking at all the different things that you do, what is it that you love most about your craft, or like the different things that you do?
Mostly it's the process of creating a piece and seeing that piece come to life, either in a shoot or on an installation or a performance. Yeah, it's like the process of making and then seeing it come to life and being interpreted in a way by the performer or by the model, and it really gets its own life, and it's like a story. Yeah,
and you also create a lot by reworking and reusing materials. And I'm curious, what advantages does that give you? And also, was this a conscious decision or just something that happened naturally?
It was a conscious decision, but also happened naturally. I love buying clothes, and that's kind of a problem. So I'm always thinking like, okay, it's a problem, but let's transmute it in something amazing. So instead of endlessly buying new pieces, let me see if I can transform it in something new. And with creating and starting with something that's already there, it's nice to have a base, because I love working with like silhouettes and bigger shapes. So when something already has a shape, it's a nice base to create from and even make something bigger.
Yeah.
So or just seeing it transform in something new is also very interesting. Yeah.
And I think for what's really exciting for this exhibition is that I'm looking that way because I can see the looks from here. Yeah, exactly. You created 4 outfits for performers, and I think it's lovely to hear a little bit more about your inspiration, but also the process behind it. We can see one piece actually right behind you. I think this is my favorite. I already said
it. Yeah, sure. It's also one of my favorites.
So tell us, what was the process like? How did the assignment feel like for you?
The assignment, in the beginning, I was like, okay, dope, because I love working with vintage, secondhand pieces. So right away, I was very excited. I was still on vacation. I was still in Burundi, so it didn't really sink in. Yeah, I was like, okay, dope, this is a job for me. And then I came back, and I was like, okay, cotton. It's not that movable, and it has to be on dancers. And then I saw all the names of the dancers, and I knew these people. I know how they move. So I was like, oh wow, this is the challenge. Then it really sank in. I was like, okay, this is a challenge. Okay, but still, I was still excited. I was like, okay, this is a challenge, but let's see what we still can make and what we can do. So when I went out, I was very much looking for different textures.
Yeah.
Even though it's cotton, I know there are different textures in that and different ways of the way that they processed the material. So I was really looking for that and to try to still create like a story in that. And yeah, it was nice. It was difficult, but it was nice because I had to look in a different way, and yeah, it was a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
And when I look back at the choices that I made, maybe I would have even gone less with the amount of fabric that I worked with, because it was really like tough to work with like the heavy materials for like the dancers.
True, because it looks really nice now that we're looking at
exactly.
it. But if you have to move in it and dance, like it's heavy, obviously.
True. Yeah. Yeah. It moves differently on them than when I was maybe like playing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I like what you said about using one material, but then different textures and styles to like create something that still looks dynamic in a way.
And play with colors.
And then, what were your thoughts when you saw the performers actually wearing the outfits? Like, how did it feel to you to see your creations in motion?
It was nice. It was nice to see. I didn't see it in the moment. I watched the videos back because I was like upstairs, like preparing them. It was nice to see, but to be honest, I like it nicer as an installation because, like I said, some pieces really worked on the dancers, but some pieces were either restricting them from moving, or it was just difficult to move with because it had less movement. So that's why I was like, in hindsight, I would have made different decisions.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to see it on them. That definitely,
yeah. And it's also a nice moment to like learn something about a material
exactly.
in a way that you didn't think about it before.
Exactly.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It's a nice process.
I love that. Did the individuals that you were dressing, like the performers, did they influence your process of creating?
Yes, definitely. In every step, I had them in mind, definitely. I was like, okay, I know she likes to have it like that, and I know he likes that, so definitely. But also I had to kind of let that go, because somewhere was also restricting me from like just going loose with my own like creativity. So I had to find a balance of that.
Yeah, and like, I almost feel like it's easier, well, sometimes I'm wondering if it's easier to create with a lot of guidelines. We talked about this before, or if it's like best to have like freedom with everything. Sometimes that can also be challenging, because if you have no rules at all, then it's like where to start. But I think first it sounds like really easy, like, okay, cotton and performers, but then when you think about the material and these two things together, it can be quite challenging. But you did a really good job at it, also because I felt when looking at the performers during the event, all looks very matched like to the people, even though I don't know them like you probably do. But still, it felt very like something that made sense.
Thank you. Yeah. And I was also very happy with the feedback from the dancers themselves. They were very comfortable, and yeah, it's nice to hear that they liked wearing the looks. So. I love that.
What is something that you look forward to now that people can come by the museum and look at the installation? What would you like for them to take away after seeing it?
Maybe look into their own closets and see, instead of maybe thinking, oh, maybe I need like a new pair of jeans. Let me see if I have like a pair of jeans that I can rework and make it more fly, so it can, be with me for like another season. And elevate my looks instead of buying new stuff. I think a lot of people have dope things in their closets that needs a little bit of reworking, upscaling, and then it's nice enough to wear again.
Amazing. Wow, thank you so much for being in conversation with me.
Thank you.
And for everyone, you have the chance to see the installation in real life by coming by at Fashion for Good. Not only this, but also other installations and the rest of the exhibition, of course. And yeah, thank you for watching.